How has your relationship with Glenn Schumann evolved from your recruitment to now, and how has he helped you become the all-around linebacker that you have?
Right, it was a dream in the making, having my opportunity to be with Coach Schumann since my recruiting. 3 long, hard years with Coach Schumann since my freshman year. Progressing and building my talent through skill set through those many years, and then finally getting awarded the Bucks Award. This past month, it's just a great honor, and it's just a reflection of hard work pays off and dreams come true. We set that goal for myself in my freshman year, and having to share the opportunity and that moment with him was great.
Yeah. Jalon, I guess you kind of particularly like playing Texas, but what is there a big game mindset that this defense adopts then in the games against Texas, the Clemson game, that you think can help you guys with the biggest games of the season coming up?
I know our defense will show up for every game, but when big moments are needed, our defense is always there to create havoc and create big plays for our team.
Jalen, I just want to ask you, in playing against Gunner these past 3 years, kind of just give an example of what Notre Dame is going, not which secret, but what that Notre Dame have to kind of be aware of when they're playing against teams with skill set.
Right, what we've seen at the end of the Texas game as the championship, exactly what you will see all year long. Gunner is a confident player. He's confident in his skill set, and he's always determined to make the best plays possible for not only for himself but for our team.
Stay with the quarterback thing. You're talking about Riley Leonard, Notre Dame, just a little bit. Has a lot of those same kind of skill sets about Gunner, maybe some of these other QBs, guys who can stay in place that y'all have seen this year. Does he compare in any way to some of these guys, and what we all need to do to be successful against him?
Right, Leonard's a well-rounded quarterback, being able to pass the ball, being able to use his legs and run game, and just making extending plays as well. Things like that, what we worked on throughout the time of us working on Notre Dame is just, containing him in the pocket. He's a scramble quarterback, as you saw in the Indiana game. They had many opportunities to take him down, but he used his legs and mobility to get out those situations that helped him out on their end. So those things like that, honing in our craft of containing the quarterback and following our game plan.
Gentlemen, we're kind of in the traditional bowl break, even though this is a CFP game. Pros and cons to that? Maybe get healthy, get a little rest, or are there any cons with timing or anything like that? What are the pros and cons of just having this break? Both teams have had it. They've actually had one more week because that's the conference championship game.
Right, pros, of course, getting your legs back underneath you after a long regular season. And then, for us, it was a pro for us being able to compete in the conference championship. But that break for us, got us better of mindset-wise, mentally-wise, physically-wise, of just getting back underneath ourselves and following our game plan and giving time to just come back to reality of regular season is over, it's postseason, and we have to do what we do. It's do or die at this point in time of in our postseason.
In the 2 wins over Texas, y'all had, I think, 13 sacks and 25-26 tackles for loss. I guess as you go forward, what are the keys to maybe, like you said earlier, creating that havoc on a more consistent basis?
Right, just sticking into our game plan. I feel like the defensive staff does a great job of putting us in positions to be able to do these things. And of course, we have a talented group of defensive players as well, just competing and executing. That's all we have to do, and success comes our way.
You guys get 3 weeks off from playing a game. I think tackling is always a concern when you come off a break like that. How do you guys stay sharp with that during these practices and get after it? And what role do you play in keeping everybody getting after it?
Right. Of course, bowl season time, you get that break and tackling does go on decline. But thing is, we practice. We always have to practice on thudding, getting our good contact in, being able to create situations of in-game situations. That's what we do at practice, having our opportunities to go against our offense every day, thudding our running backs, thudding our wide receivers, just being able to play in space. That's what the game comes down to, and just being able to hone into our craft and just tackling well. That's what we have to execute on.
Any other in-person questions?
Okay, obviously a lot of guys on the team that have had quote-unquote big game experience. What are some of the ways where that matters in games like this, where you do have a lot of guys who have played in these type of contests?
Right. We've been there. We've seen the outcomes of the game, both win and loss. We know how to embrace the crowd environment, embrace the environment just going on. I feel like for me now, every game's a big game. So at this point in time, we just have to go within the system and play football.
Jalon, what's your impressions of Notre Dame's running backs in particular? What kind of challenge do they present? What have you seen from them?
Right, talented group, very talented group. Those guys are explosive. The way we have to contain them is prevent them of becoming explosive runners. Playing their gaps. They're very talented gaps. They get into the seams, they get into those gaps, they see it, and we want to see it before they do. Just be strong up on the defensive line, our front seven, and be strong at inside backer as well. Just reading and key and well.
Okay, at this point, we're going to switch over to a couple Zoom questions.
Okay, we'll start it off with Charles Odom, the Associated Press. Charles?
Gentlemen, I'm sure you take pride in the legacy, the standards that have been set by recent Georgia defenses, but how difficult is that to live up to, especially with the schedule you guys have played this year?
Right. Every year is a challenging year for our defense. So every year is a challenging year for our team. Everybody will give Georgia their best shot. And of course, we don't really dwell on past defenses because this is our team now. And those guys are far gone and playing either NFL careers or in life somewhere. But we always pride ourselves of making this team memorable, this defensive squad memorable, because we're on it and this is what we can control now.
And next we'll go to Bailey Burmaster from Atlanta News First.
Jalon, I wanted to ask you specifically about Dan Jackson. What have you seen from him this year? Because he seems to be someone that just keeps evolving in this defense and coming up big for you guys.
Right. Dan being our older player on our team, our veteran player on our team, he does a great job of just keeping our standard alive. He does a great job of leading the DB room. He does a great job leading the defense, being a vocal aspect, a part of this team, and of course, executing when it comes down to those moments when we need it. Dan's been a great player for this year. He's been doing his job on the defensive side. I can't wait for us to continue the postseason run.
Kip Adams, 24/7 Sports.
I do not have a question.
Okay, next we'll go to Mickey DeLulo from Louisiana. Okay, Matt Baker, The Athletic.
Jalon, I know those guys up front do a lot of work to free up. Can you talk about specifically Markel and what he's meant up front and just how much attention he gets from opposing teams from what you've seen?
Right, he makes my job a lot easier, a way lot easier. Him having that attention, as you said, giving to him, it leaves me free a lot of times, or vice versa. I get the attention, he gets the shorter end of the stick. We just complement each other by, I feel like it runs deeper than just football. I've been with Michael for the past 3 years. He's one of my brothers to this day, and will always be like that. We have a relationship and mindset of when we get onto the field, we work together. As we work together, it creates opportunities just not for me, not just for him, for everybody. We dwell off each other and we feed off each other's energy.
Time for one more question.
Jalon, this year y'all have done well, tended to do well when you limit explosives. But Texas did get a lot of explosives, but then you stopped them in the red area. Was that a sign of growth, maturity maybe for this year's defense?
Right. I think it is. We get better week by week, as we've been saying. You can see each week by week. Of course, the rematch of our game. Everybody playing accordingly. Game plans adjust and change, and I believe they did a great job of doing that. But I feel like we did a better job of going into halftime, getting our adjustments and capitalizing on our mistakes and what led to explosive now.
Thank you, Jalon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jalon.